Hey, it's Trevor, and I'm here in Busan, South Korea. I've been here over a week, and I've been drinking a lot of Chilsung cider, and I've been eating a lot of strange South Korean snacks. I've also had to get used to the time zone here. In Busan, South Korea, we're 13 hours ahead of Montreal. So everything happens here first. So for example, when I wake up on Monday morning, it's still Sunday evening back in Montreal. Now, I'm planning to take a photo of the moon when it first rises here in Busan. I've been checking all my different websites and apps to make sure I got the right time and location to go and see it. And I've been assuming that because everything here in Busan, South Korea happens first, that we would see the full moon here in South Korea before we would see it in Montreal. But when I looked at the website, it shows the full moon happening in Montreal on August 11th. And for Busan, South Korea, on August 12th, the next day. What's going on? If everything else here in Korea happens first, why would the full moon appear first in Montreal before it does here in Busan? I think it's helpful to understand, what is the full moon? The full moon is actually just like a precise moment in time. It's the precise moment that the sun, earth, and moon all line up. The website I use actually shows the precise minute that the full moon happens. And in Busan, it's at 10:35 a.m. on August 12th. I'll talk about this precise minute in about a minute, but here's a visual that I think will help. And this app here is called Solar Walk Light, and it shows the earth, it shows the moon, and if I zoom out, I can see the sun and the planets here. Now, I'm gonna zoom back in on the earth and the moon. In the top right, I can change the time, and using the scroll wheel on the side, I can go backwards and forwards in time. And the moon goes around the earth, and it takes the moon about 1 month to go around the earth, hence why we see a full moon about once a month. Now, the full moon, as I said before, is when the moon, the earth, and the sun all line up. And that's when we see the moon fully lit up. When I move the time slower, you can see that the earth is rotating. And as the earth is rotating, of course, the moon is going around the earth. This clock up here, it shows the time in Busan, South Korea. And I've set the time so that it's the evening of August 11th here in Busan. You can see South Korea right about there. Now the moon almost gets 100% lined up with the earth and the sun, but not quite. The earth keeps rotating, and eventually the clock here in Busan strikes midnight, and it's now August 12th here in Busan, and the moon is still not 100% illuminated. The earth keeps rotating and it turns into morning here in Busan, and at 10:35 a.m., the moon is officially full. But back in Montreal, 13 hours behind, it's still nighttime. It's 9:35 p.m. on August 11th. And my friends back home, they can brag that they officially saw the full moon before I did. Now, this doesn't happen every month that Montreal would see the official full moon first. But from what I can see, it's more often than not that places on Earth that are ahead in time will see the full moon the day after. I should be super clear that this is really pedantic. Will the average person notice the difference between a 98% lit up moon versus a 100% lit up full moon? No, you won't. But finding this out has slightly shaped the way that I think about Earth's rotation and the phase of the moon. The best analogy I can think of is a bakery that makes bread, but only makes it once a month and at a random time of day. And they have two customers. One customer that comes early in the day to pick up the bread, and another customer that comes later in the day to pick up the bread. And you would just assume that the early customer who comes early in the day, they would get the bread. But sometimes they'll show up and the bread is only 98% ready. It's not 100% ready and they can't buy the bread. But the later customer, he shows up and the bread is 100% ready and they can buy the bread. But the early customer, they have to wait until the next day when they can come early and pick up their 100% ready bread. Now, I've been drinking a lot of Chilsung cider and I haven't really eaten a vegetable in about a week. So this might be an imperfect analogy, but I'm gonna call that a wrap. Thanks for watching. See you soon.